Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, hi everybody, how we doing? Everybody doing good? Thank you so much, Steve, for the early contribution. I appreciate you. So, Meg Thee Stallion was recently on Club Shay Shay. And I'm going to show y'all a little part of the clip where he apologizes. And then I'm going to show you the clip of what he was referring to, and therefore what he was apologizing for. Which, thank you so much, Real Life, for your super sticker. I appreciate you, sweetheart. I'm just going to get to it. First, I'm going to show you his apology. You got to let the ad.
Amazing, and you have an amazing career going forward. So this is my personal cognac, Shea by Laporte. Anytime someone comes on the show, we have to talk, because I made a comment. How you doing?
Wow.
Did I do you right?
That was amazing.
Thank you.
I love that.
Well, thank you, Meg. Before we go any further, I want to apologize to you personally. And I didn't, I always wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you. I didn't know if that was going to be possible, but I was always hoping that I got an opportunity to bump into you, because I made a comment, I think it was like September, October, and I told a joke, and I said it in jest, but I believe the joke would have been just as funny had I left you out of it. So for any unwanted attention, harm, shame, embarrassment that I caused you or your family, I want to say, as a man, as I sit here before you, I apologize.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, that was the apology that he gave her. This is what he's referring to.
That you do, and you be talking about that diamond. I don't think that's really gonna work. That's the point of her name. The point of her being a stallion. It supersedes anything that you're saying.
I know she.
So I think
good.
Are you scared?
No, but hey, I understand, Ocho. My grandpa used to say, "Boy, they can look down longer than you can look up. They look up longer than you can look down." You know what I'm saying, Ocho? But hey,
yes, sir.
I have a stretched out like a 2:45. You know what I'm saying, Ocho? Don't play with me. Ocho, you better stop playing with me, Ocho. Huh? Bad please. Man, I'm Ocho boy. I bet I got that liquid down on me. I keep that liquid on me now.
A quarter to what?
3.
Meg, I know you're gonna see this, Meg. I know you're gonna see this.
3 ways. Do it to it 3 ways, Ocho. Deep, hard, and continuously. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got, boy, Ocho. You better stop playing.
Meg.
What?
Meg, I know you're gonna see
Meg
this.
ain't gonna see nothing.
Meg, I know you're gonna see this,
out.
Ocho. Man, listen, Meg. Unc right here, man. I'll let him. I ain't got to say nothing.
Now, that was Unc and Ocho Cinco. Unc meaning Shannon, not my husband. Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco do a nightcap show together. And that was nothing more than man talk. Okay, man talk. And she happened to have been brought up, and Shannon was talking about how he would get at her. Okay. So that is what he's referring to when he gets in front of her and offers an apology. Block Betty Lucky. I don't allow spam. That was man jokes. She sat there and took that apology as, you know, first of all, I don't know if she ever was offended or anything. I don't know if she ever said anything about it or even so much as knew about it. So that I don't know. On the clip that we just watched with him in front of her, she didn't appear to be upset. He had just introduced her and she hadn't said anything. So maybe she didn't say anything because he preemptively apologized to her. He shouldn't have. I mean, I'm not going to say he shouldn't have, because people do what they want to do. People are grown, right? People are adults. They do what they want. But my question was, apologize for what, though? This is what I don't like. And I don't like it particularly as it concerns Meg, because she says things about this sometimes. And it's like, girl, if you don't go sit down. She be trying to act as if like she's a victim every time a man may say something publicly about her in a sexual manner. And then it just seemed like to me, she always have this like, oh my God, you sexualize me. Ma'am, every time I turn on Instagram, I see your booty popped up in the air. So who sexualizes you? Who sexualizes you? You or them? You or other people? Because what I'm getting sick of is these women being nothing more than visual whores, creating an image that they don't have nothing else but booty popping, and every verse is about they coochies and how they gonna have sex with a man and what they gonna do to him and how she gonna pop that thing on him, and you know how they want her, and every song got something to do with that at some point. She got songs. Not only do she have WAP, she got Thought-ish. She got all these songs that don't do nothing but allow herself to be sexualized. She's half naked everywhere. She's even half naked on this interview. She don't have a proper top on. She doesn't have proper clothing on. There's one thing with your stage attire might be a little interesting. And then your regular attire when you are just Megan and not Meg the Stallion, there's your, you know, you're not your stage persona. You're you. You're not performing right now. You're just being you. And so where are you? Wear your nice clothes. And I know you got something better in your closet than that little halter top and them little gaucho jeans, girl. I don't know where she thought she was gonna be at. She stay naked. And I know you got a pretty shape and a pretty body and stuff like that, but it's ways to accentuate that and not be constantly naked. And I just was somewhat offended. I don't know if offended is the right word. I was just like underwhelmed. And I was also confused about where the apology come from. If anybody is hurt by her over-sexualization, then they need to talk to her about that. Because here's the deal. When you present yourself a certain way publicly and you allow an image to be crafted around you, okay? Because she is in the industry. So they create a persona for you. And they create a brand for you. And if you don't say anything, they're gonna, if you're a female, they're gonna sexualize you, especially if you're cute. And yeah, maybe this is my word, babe. Thank you, babe. Maybe I'm appalled. I'm definitely irritated. You know, the industry is going to craft an image that they think you can sell. Okay? That's a part of your brand. That's going to be the marketing and all of those things. So you, as the female in this situation, Meg, if you are really, that's not you, and you don't want that image of you to be perpetuated worldwide, then you got to speak up and say, no, that can't be my image. Even if I'm kind of sexy or going to be sexy, I don't want to be a slut, though. We can kind of play off my sex appeal, but why do I have to be slutty? I don't want to be slutty. I don't want to be ratchet. I don't want that as my image. And if you push back on them and they say to you, well, we don't have another brand for you. You're going to either do this or, you can do it on your own. But if you want us to back you, it's going to have to be this. This is where you get into integrity, which most people do not have. So you're the one that agreed that hoeing around, twerking, and presenting yourself as this overly sexualized female, that's the image that's out there. So when you present yourself that way, you cannot be upset that men are going to see you that way and that they are going to make crude little jokes, sex jokes, and what have you, especially if they talking to each other. Men do that all the time. This is why I didn't understand the apology. That's man talk every day. When men get together, they gonna talk about either the woman they got, a woman they had, or a woman that they wanted to have. They gonna do it. They either gonna talk about a woman they got, a woman they had already, or one that if they got in front of them, he gonna do this to her, and he gonna do that to her, and this, that, and the third. And it's just talk. always talk about their sex like that and females like that, particularly if she comes off sexualized, if she come off like she always trying to throw it and, you know, this, that, and the third. Now, they maybe they'll speak differently about another woman if she put herself out there differently. But sometimes not even men. They be talking about even women that don't portray themselves like that. They be talking to each other like, well, what about such and such? Man, she could get it. Man, up under all them clothes, man, she can get it because da-da-da-da-da. That's just what men is going to do. Okay? That's just what men gonna do. I don't care if you show up from head to toe covered up and he can't see nothing. If they gonna talk about, man, you think you what would you do? You know what I'm saying, man? I get her, grab her up, and take that stuff off of her, man. She will. That's just what men's gonna do. Now they may not say it to you, depending on the level of respect that they want to have, and that depends on how you present it. They may not say that to you or to the woman, but they definitely gonna say it to each other. They definitely gonna say it to each other. That's just the way that conversation is gonna go. Him and Ocho Cinco simply had man banter. Even Ocho's reaction, getting up, doing a little dance and laughing. That is what they do. That is what men do. That's what they do. Let every man tell it. You know, he a superstar in bed and he gonna have every woman climbing the wall. That's just what they gonna do. You ain't being harmed by it, especially if you don't hear it. And especially if, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Even if you come to find out that they said something about you, most women, whether they say it or not, can low-key be flattered by it, or they just don't even pay it no mind. Because whatever, man. Okay. It don't matter no way. It ain't no skin off your nose and in any way, shape, or form. Whether a man talked about you like that, didn't talk about you like that, didn't, whatever. Why is you worried about it? Why are you worried about that? So the fact that the point I'm trying to get to is that I don't like it when women sexualize themselves constantly and then get mad that the men see them as sexual. You cannot have that both ways. You cannot get the regard that a modest woman get if you are an immodest woman. If you are a woman that's constantly got her booty cheeks tooted up, constantly twerking, constantly talking about her sex game, constantly talking about her throat game, constantly talking about, you have put yourself in the minds and the eyes and the esteem of men as a sexual being only. And it is what it is. You're not going to get the respect of a modest, respectable woman, a woman that don't put herself out there. Because it is women that do not put themselves out there. They just as nasty as you want them to be. But that's not that, they don't portray themselves in that way. When they show up in front of people, they are respectable. They are kind of they dress a little bit more modestly and things of that nature. You don't always see them twerking. You don't always see them doing different things because they don't want their public perception to be just a sex thing. And that don't mean that women who are more modest don't like sex or don't want no sex. That's not what that means. It just means that they care more about their public appearance value. They do not want men to only give them that type of attention because that type of attention is not always flattering or good. Sometimes it can be quite negative. So just don't portray that image of themselves. That's all. So I was perplexed about the apology. I could see the apology if Megan did not portray herself that way and a sexually crude joke was publicly made about her. Then I could see some offense and a man said, I'm sorry you had to hear that. I ain't. Because why? Her public appearance is at odds with the public response. But in this case, the response and the thoughts that he had about her was in step with her brand. That is how she publicly appears. That is how she publicly presents. So if she publicly presents in this over hyper sexualized way, then why would men be castigated for responding with a sexual response? It ain't like he was trying to stalk her or call her or get in touch with her. Hey, it's just hey. I just didn't get it. Maybe because I have just heard men talk all my life and that don't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. Men making sexual jokes among themselves about women. That's most of the time, 99% of the time, the men do not mean no harm by that. They just talking and laughing and having a good laugh. So that's all that they're trying to do. That's all they're doing is talking. I want to move right, Cowboys. Locker room talk. It's barbershop talk. It's, auto shop mechanic talk. Anywhere where men gather. And women talk about men in the same way. Okay? If especially you get a bunch of single women together and they talking about what man can get it and how they gonna give him that white girl just get publicly was talking about hot tour and all that kind of stuff. I mean, women say that all the time. They may say it in a different way than the men say it, but women talk like that. Don't let you know what I'm saying. You women have sexual talk just as well as men do. Okay. So women have that same talk that men have. It might be in a slightly different, said in a slightly different way. But when women get together, that's some of the nastiest talk you're going to hear. The women be wanting to talk about the men, but be a fly on the wall and it's a bunch of females and see just how nasty that talk get. So that apology was unnecessary. It really was unnecessary. I want to talk about I am going to go ahead and talk about the BET Awards. I still didn't watch it, but that's not going to affect what we say about it. Now, why did you think he owed her an apology? Do she owe the world an apology when she twerked on Instagram? What if folks don't want to see her butt? What if we don't want to see her booty? What if we don't like that? I'm going to go to commercial break real quick. And then I'm going to shout out the super chats. But after these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com to pick up some of the best body care and body butter on the market. We are in the thick of the summertime. It is now July, so I know everywhere, you know what I'm saying, got a summertime vibe to it. So we outside. And while we're outside, we want to look our best and we want our skin glowing and smelling awesome. So in order to do that, you're going to have to go into ashkicking.com. The link is at the top of the chat. If this is going to be your first time ordering, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, that's ashkicking.com, and the link is at the top of the chat. Don't know how many likes I need, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button, bam, bam. You got to, Go ahead and become a member of the channel, because as the year goes on, and as time goes on, period, not just this year, there are going to be many different perks and many different things, and you're going to want to be a member to get first dibs, discounts, and things of that nature, and exclusive content from this channel. Is this how we solve that problem? Just stop watching her twerk. Just stop watching her twerk, right? What problem does that solve? Which problem do that solve? I might drop the link. Which problem do that solve? Do that solve the image problem? Because if she's twerking, whether you particularly watched it or not, or I did or didn't, if she's publicly posting videos to twerk and show herself as nothing but a sex object, whose problem is that? So we owe her an apology for believing her brand. You male or female, Burr? You almost gonna get blocked or whatever, but you ain't really being disrespectful. You male or female? Thank you, L2. So I shouldn't have to apologize for that. It was hilarious, pure comedy. Thank you, Theo, for your contribution. Appreciate it. Thank you, Miss Lou Casey, for your super sticker. Thank you again, L2. So Miss Kendra is getting to the point that men can't be men in public, or we will be called misogynistic and narcissistic. Thank you, Jerome. So I haven't seen your videos in a while. I miss you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I want to share something. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged, and because I'm not gonna go through his whole video, but he's talking about how the women over social media starting to speak out against the whole ratchet rap, the BET Awards and all of those sorts of things. So I wanted to because this whole beginning part was actually kind of cool, but I skipped over here.
So let's go ahead and jump into those videos.
Is it just me, or did they only present women with the BET Awards this year? Were men allowed to be awarded this year? I'm all for female empowerment, but I believe our men deserve to be honored as well. BET, what are y'all doing? What is this agenda?
She said that.
So we're going to go back to it. But I think that females, Black women particularly, are at least somewhat starting to see the redundancy and the foolishness of this. Now, a lot of Black women supported all of this foolishness, but there had to be at least a small percentage of women who did not. And another percentage of women who were kind of on the fence with things. Okay. And I think it's more of those women who were on the fence with things that are starting to say, wait a minute, this is really messed up. Like, this is real backwards. Like, what are we actually doing? Because I didn't watch it, I didn't know that men didn't really win too many awards at the BET Award. No, Usher won one. Only because they messed up his tribute. But we've been knowing BET been on a lot of foolishness for many, many years now. It has been on the tear the image of Black people down, specifically Black men, and also tear down the image of Black women under the guise of Black female empowerment. And they have been pushing that Black women specifically and only are Black culture, and Black men don't have anything to do with Black culture. They've been pushing that for years. They've said it proudly and loudly. Black women are the culture. Black women are the culture. And then after they push that narrative, the Black women are the culture, how did they present Black women? I need people to think about that. They presented the destruction of the Black female image under the guise of female empowerment. Black women always fall for anything that say that they gonna give you something or give you some type of validation or whatever. Black women always fall for that. Okay. So then they said, we're gonna start uplifting Black women because y'all want so much upliftment all the time. Y'all always want so much external validation every time from anywhere that you can get it because you're so, unable to self-validate. You're so full of self-hatred and self-loathing as a group of women. You hate your Blackness, you hate your culture, you hate your men, and you hate the fact that you're women. So anytime some external entity says that they're going to uplift, quote unquote, Black women, you go for it. And as long as they keep using those buzzwords, uplift, empowerment, and all of those sorts of things, and kiss y'all butt, y'all go for it. And they told y'all that Black women are the culture, which excluded Black men. Now, after they excluded Black men, I don't know when y'all not going to get tired of this same play. Every time they want to attack you as a group of women, they separate you from the men somehow. Ideologically, they separate you from them. Culturally, they separate you from them. Physically, they separate you from them. Value-wise, they separate you from them. It's always the same game play. They run it down the middle and you ain't stopped it yet. Divide and conquer. And so anytime they want to get Black women to do something stupid to destroy their own image and thus continue to leave the Black family and community destroyed in perpetuity, all they have to do is say that they're going to validate you and give you some butter biscuits, and you go for it. So after they said they were going to empower you and uplift you and honor you and all this kind of stuff, because you always want to be honored and uplifted and worshiped for your foolishness, then they began to present you not as beautiful, honorable, modest, loyal, decent women. That is not the image that they support or perpetuate. They gave you the ice spices. They give you the Sexy Reds, they give you the Meg Thee Stallions, they give you all of these filthy, and I'm gonna include Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet in that as well, because they just as nasty. Every time I look at a Tiana Taylor clip, she grinding on another woman. And they uphold her. So, oh, she's so pretty. That's all it mean anything to them. Y'all don't even know who them people is. Because I bet you can't name 4 Victoria Monet songs. I actually can name one because I ended up just running into it because not Spotify, Pandora was on autoplay. Because other than that, I wouldn't have known who Victoria Monet was either. They uphold what's that other girl? Money Long. Cause they only uphold her because she's a lesbian. So all her little songs, they be cute, little catchy little songs, but all her little songs is about other women. That Hours and Hours song about women. That Twin, Where Have You Been? That's about women. So the women who present not as the twerking ratchet, they lesbians. Janelle Monáe, a whole lesbian. Talking about they pansexual. Beloved, once you lick a twat, you a lesbian. I don't want to hear this. See, I don't do the women have a pass because they women, so they get to say they straight even when they lick cat. No. Not on my watch. Once you lick a cat, stay over there. I don't care nothing about that little. And when we was just experimenting, that I don't know when that became okay for women to do. I don't play that. You busy licking cat. You a lesbian at that point. Somehow, some way, that was supposed to be okay for women to do, to be sexually fluid. Lick a little cat, but you get to say that you heterosexual and all that kind of stuff. And the men give it a pass because it's some type of porn fantasy. Grew up watching porn all the time. So you're accustomed to watching 2 women be sexual with one another. So men like to have that as some type of sex fantasy. So they don't say nothing about the women who lick twat all day. Just because you're not a stud, what that mean? So they promote lesbianism along with ratchetness. And I'm not here for none of the foolishness. I'm not here for none of the foolishness. I don't care who like it or don't like it. It is not okay. It is not okay. If you licking twat as a female, you are part of the alphabet community, ma'am. I don't care that you like D as well. And just the same as it's men out there that like a little D, and then he come back and get him some cat. That ain't changed. That didn't change he was gay. That didn't change that. Did not change it. Thank you, Miss Celine. But I don't believe in bisexuality. I don't believe in that. Because if you straight, you straight. Hopping back over the fence. Okay. Anyway, we gonna go back. Excuse me, brother. I'm gonna skip your commentary.
Surprise, but whatever. Yeah. All right. I don't know why. You know why.
How much more ass shaking am I gonna have to see tonight? First, they opened the show with Meg shaking her ass. Then it went to Sexy Red shaking her ass. Then it went to Glorilla shaking her butt. Then Lotto shook her butt. Now Ice Spice is shaking her butt. Somebody please get up here and just sing and rap the song without having your cheeks out. And they keep zooming in every time they shake their butt. God, I fear the next generation. Lord, have mercy. Pray for them, please. I stayed up because I really wanted to support BET, and I really wanted to see Usher get his Lifetime Achievement Award. But when I tell y'all, I cannot watch another minute of these performances. Then they keep showing the audience, they keep putting the camera on people. They're not having a good time. They're not even cracking a smile. They're not laughing at the jokes. They're not even standing up when the people come out to perform. BET, I'm head out.
I don't know, y'all, if it's just me, and I might get a lot of backlash for saying this, but I just feel like the BET Awards have now become this promotion of degeneracy on the Black community. Like, if I'm being honest, like back in the day when I was growing up, the BET Awards used to be a celebration of like Black excellence and Black artistry and Black creativity, and they would even have people who would talk about programs that were winning humanitarian awards for having programs in the Black community, putting young Black men in schools and teaching them how to be men, and putting young Black girls in different programs that would help our community. And now I didn't even get to watch the BET last night. I saw clips on TikTok, and it's just like, I'm glad I didn't watch it. Used to back in the day, they would dress up and they would put gowns on and put their best suits on. It was a celebration of Black excellence at one point. And it's just like, now it's just been degeneracy. It's just degenerate stuff now. It's like Black culture is like this stereotypical idea, like the stereotypical preconceived notion that a lot of white people have towards Black people. That's what was on last night. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but what do y'all think about that? Like, did y'all watch the BET Awards last night? Like, it's just not what it used to be. It's just not what it used to be. That's all I'm saying.
We need more balanced programming from BET. I agree with that. Lavelle said, what's wrong with the NAACP Image Awards? Nothing is wrong with it. That's my thing. The NAACP Awards still has standards. The Grammys still have standards. You will not catch some of these artists who we see going to BET Awards doing some of the things that they do if they go to the Grammys, doing some of the things that they would do at the NAACP Awards, because we have lost leadership. Let me explain this about Deborah Lee real quick before we move on. You can say whatever it is that you want about Deborah Lee, but what you can't say is that she did not have standards. She put her foot down to where activists. People were coming to her house because she would not allow the B word on her station. She wouldn't allow certain videos to be played on the station because she had standards. She wouldn't allow certain things. We don't have those anymore. In BET, we used to look forward to it. We used to look forward to it because it was somewhat wholesome, but it was still very much culture. And we just don't have that anymore.
We don't have culture. We have commercialism.
Totally. They placate to this
because
to the hip hop, to this culture. They placate to that. And there's nobody willing to take a stance on, like we're talking about with the different artists. There's nobody willing to do that right now. Instead, you're like, well, what do you want to see? You want to see Sexy Red? We're going to give it to you. Yeah, you want to see Megan Thee Stallion or whomever else, Lotto, shake they behind. All right, we're going to give it to you.
There are culturally clueless people that are making decisions.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem.
And you
Now, there is a valid point to be made about how, in general, Black women supported all this foolishness. And now, since it has gotten way out of hand, now somebody want to say something about it. The only reason I'm not going to hammer that point is because we do want people to say something about it. Somebody got to say something about it. It can't just be me. It can't be just small influencers or people that nobody knows and they never supported it. And they always say that they didn't support it. But since they don't have any influence anywhere, nobody knows who they are, what them not liking it doesn't mean anything. Even though it's a valid point that the majority of Black women supported all of this craziness, right? I'm not going to act like that's not true. But what we can't do is ignore the smaller percentage that didn't do that, that never actually supported that. And so I'm not going to be mad if their voices are a bit louder now than they used to be. Whoever it is saying it, even if I feel like in the past they supported it, at some point we have to allow the women themselves to say, this is too much. Because there's no balance anymore to the booty shaking. What she said was facts. When these people go to other places, they don't do that. And it has less to do with the standards that Deborah Lee had than it had to do with the agenda against Black people in general and Black women and Black female imagery specifically. Because when Meg Thee Stallion was invited to the Country Music Awards, what was it, a year or two ago? And I think I did a show on it. And she was so beautiful because Meg is pretty. And she just had her hair in a very beautiful gown. She did not do that twerking stuff. She didn't do she didn't do none of that. She came like she had some sense to Zaddy's event. Why? Because she knew that that was not going to be acceptable around all in white folk. The Country Music Awards demographic is white people for the majority. And so they don't promote that to their little girls, all that twerking and foolishness. So when she was invited, and I don't know why she was invited, but when she was invited there, she didn't show up and do that. She showed up and act like she knew how to act like a lady, which proves that she know how to act like a lady. So why doesn't she act like a lady at BET? Why didn't she act like a lady at the Essence Fest? When she had all them folks up there twerking. I do believe that was Meg. So they know how to act. That's not the problem. It's not that they don't know how to act. They choose not to act with integrity and like they are ladies when they are presenting themselves to our young ladies, to Black teenagers, early 20s, and that demographic of women. So I'm not going to dismiss the women who get on the TikToks and say, what are we doing? I want those videos to go viral because the twerk videos are viral. The foolishness is viral. That's viral. So why that's why I'm not going to say, oh, well, y'all need to shut up because y'all supported it. I'm not going to take that route today. Because somebody got to say it. And it's going to have to be the women. It's going to have to be Black women to say we are tired of watching y'all shake y'all butt every 5 seconds. We tired, boss. We tired, boss. Tired. Every time we click up there, we got to see that. It's just all over everything. It ain't like you cannot see it. It's everywhere. It was brought to an unfortunate light because there's no balance. They tried to have, from what I hear, they tried to have Lauryn Hill perform, I think, to close the show out. That's not enough balance. Lauryn has been retired for many years from music. She ain't been wanting to be part of y'all little industry a meal. She didn't want to do that. You wouldn't let her have you know what I'm saying? They blackballed her out of the industry is what they did. Blackballed her, said she was crazy, you know, and all this other kind of stuff. All because she would not allow them to exploit her in a way that did not align with how she thought she should be presented. That's my take. That has always been my take on why Lauryn just kind of disappeared from the limelight like that. Because after you drop an album like The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and you don't come back for another one, I refuse to believe that she didn't have the creativity or the drive to make more music because she was with the Fugees for years. But for Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was her debut as a solo artist because she was with, y'all remember, she was with the Fugees for years. A double threat, could rap and sing. Lauryn will tear these little non-rapping little girls up. Lauryn will tear them girls up. I believe that right now. If you sit her down with a pen and get them rap juices flowing, she'll tear them off. Lauryn was mean. That's why we liked her. And she was pretty as a picture. And I just feel like she refused to be just corrupted by them like that. You know, you touch the industry for as much as you need to in order to get your art out there and get your music out there and things of that nature. You have to touch some part of it. But there's a line that I believe she didn't want to cross with having it consume her. And now she can't be her because now she's got to fit into this mold or whatever they presented her with. She wasn't going. And it was a choice between do this or go into obscurity. And as for as talented as I know she knows she's talented. If we know she's talented, right? And say, well, I'll just go raise my family. I'll go raise my family. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get off of here because I ramble. I feel that in the rambling energy. I feel I go another hour and ramble. I'm going to try to clean it up with Lauren like y'all like her. Because if Lauryn Hill was to come out today as a new artist, y'all wouldn't give her the time of day. That's the part I don't like, the little disingenuous part. Try to put her up there. Like y'all ain't spent the last hour with a twerk fest. And try to make us digest what you just did with a dose of Lauryn Hill. You only give her them props because you know you need to. You know you better. But if Lauryn Hill was a new artist today, we didn't know nothing about her. If she wasn't an artist in the 90s, if she was one of them young ladies coming up, now they'd have tried to have her twerking and everything. And if she didn't want to do that, they would make her go into obscurity or just wouldn't support her. Because we know the names of some of these other women. At least a few of them. I don't keep up with everybody. But there are a few young ladies who rap and they really be rapping and they don't be trying to twerk, and you'll never see them. You'll never see them on a big feature. You will never see them plastered everywhere. You got to know that the TMZs and the Shade Rooms and the Hollywood Unlocked and the, you know what I'm saying, all of these other social media sites are in on the agenda as well by posting and constantly plastering these females in front of you. But they won't plaster the other females in front of you because they don't want to have, you know, that over-sexualized image portrayed about them. And if they refuse, I'm not going to get up there and be ratchet and naked and twerking and foolish. I actually have talent and I'm going to rap. They don't want to push that. Again. I'm gonna stop. I'm done. Let me make sure. Thank you, Ruminant says Shannon's apology was a combination of Southern gentleman, part business decision. I agree with that. Thank you, Miss Beshua said, good afternoon, Sister Kendra, and here's my late fee to the cook. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Celine said Pandora is a throwback. I still listen to Pandora. I don't be listening to spot. I only have one music thing because I'm actually mad that I needed a music thing now anyway, because I used to have my own playlist. Like I was very much underwhelmed with getting a music subscription to really listen to the stuff I wanted to listen to without taking up all of my storage space on my phone. But anyway, thank you, Bernard. So they stay trying to push this ratchet feminism. Exactly. Thank you, Successful MD. So that's right, Miss Kendra. Call it what it is. No pass cards. The word lesbian was created to downplay the nastiness. Exactly. Thank you, Ranger One. Said black women don't prop up her. Thank you, Miss Beshua. Said we must remember the BET is no longer black owned. It's owned by the little hats, and they are the progenitors of degeneracy. Exactly. Thank you again, Bernard. Said once BET After Dark aired with the infamous tip drill video, the raving viewership, they abandoned the more costly 106 in part for the cheap base instinct driven model we see now. And you know what? That's real. That's real. Thank you, Ranger One. Said we have more femininity watching Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill on WWE than the BET Awards. They are both married and have kids. Thank you, Coda. Said, hi, Kendra. What you do is go. Wanted to know if it's possible I could do a consult with you and your husband. Appreciate you. Just email me. And hey, how you doing, Skinny Boy? Said we went from Lauryn Hill to whore in heels. Exactly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.